Your next question comes from James Murray with NetNewsLedger. Please go ahead.
Greetings, Premier, from Thunder Bay, Ontario, where the Heddle Shipyards will start running again, and it's a 100-year-old facility, so it's great to hear manufacturing. What can be done to increase manufacturing jobs with contracts like this in Ontario and specifically in northwestern Ontario?
Well, this is a big federal contract, and I wrote a letter. I know Premier Horgan wrote a letter as well. And, there's some big contracts happening right now. In Quebec, what I was told today, we're getting some sole source shipbuilding. Okay, fine. You want to do that, that's fine. They got their piece of the pie. Now we need our piece of the pie here. We need our piece of the pie, and I'll be speaking to the Prime Minister, and we'll mention it on the call tonight. But we need our slice of the pie here in Ontario when it comes to these large icebreakers. This gives certainty to these hardworking folks here for not a year, but for 10 years. 10 years of good paying jobs that they can plan to go buy a house. They can plan to put their kids through university or college. That's what we need. We need our fair share here in Ontario. And when we get our fair share here in Ontario, it benefits Newfoundland, it benefits the people of BC, it benefits Thunder Bay, St. Catharines, and Hamilton. So I'm going to be pushing hard for our slice of the pie. Enough's enough. I love Francois Legault, I love Quebec, but they're full. They have their big slice of the pie. Now it's our turn.
So in the transportation sector, which creates these really good paying manufacturing jobs, we have an amazing plant, and coming off of Remembrance Day yesterday, what is now the Bombardier plant made the Hawker Hurricane in World War II. It's made streetcars and light rail transit for Toronto. There's some small contracts coming. What can we be doing to get more work for manufacturing here in Western Ontario?
So up in Thunder Bay, talk about giving love. I've given a lot of love to the folks up in Thunder Bay. I went to the Bombardier plant. We bumped up some orders to secure some jobs for them. I think it was 200 or 300 additional jobs. I'll do whatever it takes to support the people up in Thunder Bay and Bombardier, Resolute Paper as well up there. So we're going to continue making sure we create an environment for companies to thrive and grow and prosper, and by making sure that we have a fair tax system, a property tax system. And do you know who's the best to speak about this? Is the Minister of Finance and the Minister of Economic Development. So if you can give each one of them a minute, I'd appreciate it.
Thank you, Premier. Thank you for the question. So when you think about where we were 2 years ago compared to today, a week ago I would have answered it this way, that we have lowered the cost of doing business in Ontario by $5 billion. So by reducing our WSIB by over $2 billion without reducing the premiums, by bringing in what's called an accelerated capital cost, which means businesses can write off their expenses, their new manufacturing equipment in year. So all of those things have created the environment that saw us add 300,000 jobs in the province of Ontario. When you look back to February, before COVID, there were 250,000 unfilled jobs in the province of Ontario. And since that time now, we've seen, as I said earlier, 868,000 of those jobs come back. Today, this morning, 11,500 people, more people, men and women, woke up to work in manufacturing than did pre-COVID. And since that time last week, when we used to say $5 billion, that number has now grown to $7 billion. And I think the Minister of Finance will give you the explanation of the extra, where that extra money is coming from. Thank you.
Thank you, Vic, and thank you for that great question. When it comes to making manufacturing competitive across the province, the budget that I introduced last week will reduce the price of electricity for the kind of manufacturers you're talking about, like Bombardier, by 14%. That's going to be hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars, and across other sectors like mining, it'll be millions of dollars to make them more competitive. When it comes specifically to that plant, and it's been talked about today, important projects like transit here in Hamilton, or like the subway project that we have endorsed, $27 billion of growth in terms of subway systems across the GTA. Those are all projects that are ready to go from our perspective, and we do need our federal partners to step up. We'll be ready to order plenty of train cars, plenty of LRT cars, plenty of subway cars, and Bombardier would be just a fantastic place to get them from. But we do need our federal partners, and they've been great partners through COVID, to step up, say they're going to be supporting those investments so that we can create long-term opportunity for those employees up at Bombardier and really help them be the world-class manufacturers that we know they are. Thank you.